Hunter saves it. Hunter Hughes is coming around. Here comes Colton Garner. It's Hunter Hughes!
Turn 4 for the final time. Who's got more ponies? Checkered flag out. Bluegrass 150 goes to Ian Miller.
And welcome back to the Daily Driven Podcast, guys. As always, I'm your host, Nick Zammit.
Good, get the name out there. It's like, hey, Joseph Newgarden, you're the guy with the sperm commercial. Yeah.
Wednesday night on iRacing only means one thing: the return of Wednesday Night Dash on Stadium Scene TV. Tonight, we head to Charlotte, the home of NASCAR, as the championship is heating up. How are you? Jackson Lambros filling in for Trev as we get you set for some non-stop stock car action here from the spiritual home of NASCAR, as it is. Qualifying underway for the time being with 2.5 minutes left. It's Hunter Buchanan currently the one to beat, as it would appear that Hughes is just in second right now, as we don't have a camera that actually wants us to show what is going on track here. Very interesting. Still unable to see everybody, so for the time being, let's get you familiar, if you somehow aren't already, with the home of NASCAR, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Technically not Charlotte proper, but Concord opened in 1960, reconfigured in 2018. What we're running tonight, 1.5 iconic miles of pavement with 24 degrees of banking. Home of the Coca-Cola 600 alongside the Indianapolis 500 during Memorial Day weekend. For us, it'll be a 40-minute practice, which we already ran through the happy hour. It's a 5-minute 2-lap quali, and then it'll be 70 laps or 45 minutes, whichever one comes first. It's also more than likely the last time we will have stage racing. Going to be very, very interesting to see, as we do kind of treat this as a little bit more of a marathon. So going to be very interesting to see how these guys interact with it. 1 minute to go, all but Bill Mulfield seeming to have set their time, as we have 13 cars on the docket. Huge thanks to everybody for tuning in here on this beautiful Wednesday night in virtual Charlotte. Let's take a quick look, while we can, of what's on the horizon. The Bottom Split Racing Series. We're finally getting a series to go and use these ARCA cars, and a good mix, a little bit of something for everybody, whether it's short ovals, kind of the intermediates, a couple supers, even a road course in there. So starting in just a couple weeks time, and we'll run all the way to December. Should be a heck of a show. Would love to have you there. So it's looking like it will be Hunter Buchanan alongside Jarnigan for the front row, with Garrett Jarnigan alongside. Hunter Hughes will roll off in third. I'll get you guys the full starting grid here in just a moment. And apologies, I wasn't able to actually show you guys any green flag laps. That's incredibly frustrating on my end. But here is how they will grid up. Dawson Buchanan alongside Garrett Jarnigan, less than 1/10 of a second separating those two on the front row. It'll be Hunter Hughes alongside Chris Fuge. Nick Warboy will roll off P5. He's alongside Lane Snow in row 3. Colt Gardner in P7. He's alongside race winner Jax Milan. In 9th is JP Jones alongside the brother, other Fuge. Connor John Miles is 11th. DJ Fluke will be in 12th with Bill Mofield with no time on the docket, rounding out the field. And as they start to roll out here, we get set. So 13 cars on the docket here. This is going to be an endurance race kind of mentality for everybody in the field tonight. Not a lot of opportunities like we've seen at the short ovals to really throw haymakers and try something crazy. You gotta really, really time your runs, time your setups, take good care of your tires. Charlotte, infamous for chewing away your resources, whether it's fuel, tires, what have you. And some beautiful Patriotic liveries all throughout the field here for what is historically been Memorial Day schemes. Always good to see. Pace car is off. Buchanan on the inside, Jarnigan on the outside. Who will be on top in the penultimate round of the Wednesday night dash? Let's find out. We're dashing. Great start from Buchanan. As side by side further back it goes, Hughes and Jarnigan. Jarnigan using all of that momentum on the inside to squeeze on through. One car on the wall further back looked like Lane Snow, but everybody away in one piece. Further back looks like Nick Warboy getting to work. And the 27 has made up 2 positions already in that Bass Pro Shops Chevy. Watch further back as Lane Snow goes side by side with Chris Fuge. In a very different kind of patriotic livery. Is that Grumman on the number 5? You bet. As I will already take this time to have a memorial for my beloved F-14 Tomcats, the last of which were absolutely blown up. Momentum. First, no, we'll look to the outside of Nick Warboy into turn number 1. We'll roll all of that momentum on the high side. And still side by side as Warboy really holds on to the inside. Now gives it up. Further back, though. Throw a blanket over these 3. Earlier on, Colton Gardner up ahead in the 40. He's ahead of Jax Milan. And brother Chris Fuge further behind. Very drama-free opening stanza to this race, as we were hoping to see, again, a lot less aggression from everybody. They know that they've got plenty of laps ahead of them. And with pace, you can absolutely move forward here. Meanwhile, Dawson Buchanan in the battle with Hunter Hughes is very much alive. Hard to tell who's who here, as everybody in the top 3 running a very patriotic scheme. Hughes looks to the inside, now gets back in line in the Fusion F-150. Here he comes again, trying to jam the nose on the low side. It's Chevy versus Ford. There's a little bit of contact Buchanan wiggles and goes into the wall. Will lose that position, make it 2, maybe 3. Big damage there now to the 4 of Dawson Buchanan. Hunter Hughes will get the lead, but it'll be a little bit of a controversial move. With just the lightest of taps, gets into the outside wall. And that will make it a new battle now between himself and Garrett Jarnigan. First laps led for Hunter Hughes tonight. And now Jarnigan on the attack. Great momentum in the start of this race from Lane Snow, who's right there as well. For the back, John Miles fending off DJ Fluck. Hunter Hughes right behind. Gonna have to Google what Chili Pickles are at the end of this, as that is very new to me. Love to see the Patriotic liveries, especially in time for what would traditionally be the Firecracker 400. And the race that is traditionally ran during Memorial Day weekend is ran for us on July 4th week. Garrett Jarnigan throws in the towel early. He'll be the first to come into pit lane. Not sure if this was intentional or not. This is going to be an interesting strat, though, from the 32. That puts 2 seconds between him and Nicholas Warboy with a big slide heading into the quad oval. And is able to gather it back up. But now Lane Snow going to get an opportunity to pounce on him for P2. Warboy continuing to run it very, very wide there. Coming out of 4. And it is showing. And the netcode is showing as well, as he might not be getting all the data he needs in this moment. Snow looks to the outside. Back in line again. And the flickering absolutely has to be a code red for Lane Snow, who definitely wants to keep this as drama-free as possible. Still in line is Lane Snow, as we are 10 laps in here at Charlotte. Snow continuing to run different experiments here on where to go. Tries it all the way down to the white and blue line and still can't close that gap. Snow, the lowest rated driver on iRating with the yellow belt. C-class driver. Definitely not driving like it right now. Good momentum from Snow. Here he comes to the inside on Nick Warboy, who might be losing another position now. Still just can't quite find the juice there to pedal to the outside. So we'll get back in line. What's the mentality for Hunter Hughes? Is he enjoying this battle right now, or is he doing everything he can to get away from it? Maybe a little teamwork between the 5 and the 27 is in order to try and close that gap to the Fusion machine. Hard to totally justify using the bumper when you need downforce so badly at a track like Charlotte. For the back, Chris Fusion, the 49, continues to hold off Jax Milan. And another Fusion involved right now with DJ Fluke. As a lot of guys really capping off of the outside, coming to the stripe. Good run from Connor Hughes. Here he comes to the middle. We'll try the inside of the 4 of Buchanan in a rough day already gone worse. Side by side, Hughes to the inside of Buchanan. Buchanan gets off the gas and makes it an easy position gain there. And I believe there was the overtake we missed there between Lane Snow and Nicholas Warboy just as we were checking in through the midfield and all of those battles. So Lane Snow promoted into P2. Does he have the pace to bring it to the front and bring the fight to Hunter Hughes? Here's the closest battle on track right now. John Miles right on the rear bumper of the 21 JP Jones. Miles in the Squatch 54, looking for a way around. Tries the inside. Still remains in line. Has been on the bumper for a while, but has been incredibly patient. Now rolls that momentum all the way to the outside. Got to be so careful when you're running bumper to bumper here, because running closer to other cars, trying some more adventurous lines, especially ones that aren't rubbered in, is going to increase tire wear. Miles takes that risk, though. Goes to the inside. Clears Fluke. Or JP Jones, excuse me. Jones going to try the switchback, though. Got immediately tucked back in and now fires it to the inside of 3. But Jones able to get to the inside, but can't carry all that extra momentum that Miles has. That's a done deal for the 54. Everybody's starting to dilute here. And what was expected at the start of this, but do not be surprised to see different strategies kind of get together. Nick Warboy with another scrape of the outside wall coming out of turn 4. As Colton Gardner going to try and close that gap now for third. Everybody very spread out at this point, though. Half a second separating our leader, Hunter Hughes, and Lane Snow. So the answer has been not quite yet. Can he close that gap? And this allows Hunter to just kind of go into autopilot mode and try and save and conserve. Well, traditionally after the throw of the checkered flag, we have some racers in here have some conversation with one another. FR Racing's Eric Richardson and DJ Fluke in Garage Talk, presented by Stadium Scene TV. And you got to imagine with the humongous one at Atlanta last week, the news with Daniel Suarez, and what will almost guarantee a promotion for Connor Zilich into a full-time Cup ride. All of the chaos in the NBA free market right now. Plenty for them to talk about right now. So a good show coming up this Saturday. Never did thank DJ and Eric for having me on, getting to explain the Team Penske drama. Here's some more drama, though, as Nick Warboy gets back into the wall. Milan goes through on the inside. Fuge will try to go with him. Can't get there, as it's a block from Warboy. Now the 49 of Fuge goes to the inside. Tries to use the draft of Milan to help. He wants the clean air. He goes in between. And Warboy able to get comfy in the high side and carry all of that momentum in the long way. Another big wiggle from Warboy there as Milan tries the inside. So too does Fuge, looking to the inside. Can't get through. Warboy being a bend but not break kind of driver tonight. And the way that he has consistently ran side by side, corner to corner, with plenty of different racers tonight, and has put up a heck of a fight. Don't think he's had a full lift of the throttle once. Milan right there. Warboy now goes to the middle. Milan trying around the outside, opposite of what they tried the last lap. But Milan figured out that's the way to go and gets it done. Now here comes Hughes to the inside of Warboy. High side once again to Nick in the 27. Is this going to be the way to go? Will Milan's draft help him as well? It doesn't matter because the 27 gets very tangled in the outside wall, is wrestling that Silverado to keep the drama minimal. And it's 3rd to 6th for the 27 and Nick Warboy. This battle, though, between Jax Milan and Chris Fuge is going to continue. Oh, big trouble down low. Is that not a yellow? Way down low, it looked like Garrett. Maybe DJ Fluke, I'm not sure. And it's a meatball to Lane Snow. What's happened to the 5? He's significantly slower than everybody else. It looks like there might be damage to the front left quarter. Oh, big time damage there to the 5. Oh my goodness. And Lane Snow, who was looking like he maybe had the pace to bring the battle to Hunter Hughes, just took a little bit too much out of it. Still not throwing the towel in, but the meatball flag telling him it's going to be just a matter of time. Meanwhile, John Miles trying to get 4th from Nick Warboy. Was there a little bit of contact there? I'm not sure. As Nick's got to wrestle that on the outside. They're side by side to the stripe, and the yellow flag comes out. I think. We had it momentarily. I don't think that was a local caution, was it? Yes, it was. I do not believe that was scheduled. It could be. That might have been our final stage break coming out. And the golden ticket for Lane Snow, who is going to have the 5 crew get to work here. And here comes everybody else. It might be iRacing, but this is absolutely the place where you can gain and lose positions, tracking your marks, making sure you're not pitting, mastering that entry. When on track, it is vital for you to do everything perfect off track. And it looks like Hughes was just a smidge deep in his box. And immediately gets that going. Jax Milan, for instance, able to gain 2 positions. How about them apples? Lightning fast stop from the number 9 crew. Gets Jax Milan a front row start after the caution. Fuge comes out in 3rd. Chris Fuge, I should clarify. John Miles is 4th. JP Jones 5th. Connor Fuge is 6th. Dawson Buchanan will emerge in 7th. Where's Lane Snow? He's back out. Albeit way back in 12th alongside Garrett Jarnigan, who is just now coming out of the pits. Everybody lined up again here. I was thinking 1 or 2 positions were on the board, but Jax Milan with a fiery pit stop. You might argue he could have gone for 2 there. He wasn't driving like he was conserving the car that much, but maybe there's some confidence in the loose setup there. Or using the preference of being on track in front instead of having some fresher shoes. We're going to have to see. So just behind him, Chris Fuge in the 49 and John Miles in the 54. Row 3, JP Jones on the inside of Connor Fuge. And then Dawson Buchanan right behind in the 4. Will get an opportunity to drive back to the front of the field. Spare some thoughts, by the way, for Fluke, who's in the middle of monsoon season and hoping that he is able to finish this race. He rolls to the restart P9. Milan on the outside in the Lake Ozarks machine. Fusion car is Hunter Hughes on the inside. Pace car is off. Fully re-racked and ready to go here from Charlotte for the second half. Let's do it. Lightning start from Hunter Hughes as here comes Chris Fuge to the inside of Milan. Jones on the inside defense. Big slide there for Connor Buchanan. He'll go up the racetrack, somehow minimizing the drama. JP Jones will get through in P4. Now Milan fends off from Chris Fuge in the underdog machine. John Miles right along there with him. Jax knows he has to put the pressure on early. Hunter Hughes has not seen the bumper of someone else tonight. This could change right now. Milan, with a good run, will tuck back in. Further back, Buchanan on the inside of Miles will get that move done. Looks at JP Jones. Stays tucked all the way into the bumper. Jones off the wall further ahead. Chris Fuge, side by side. Buchanan nearly in the grass here to carry all of that pace to the inside. Into 1, Miles is putting up a fight. 3-car freight train up ahead for the lead. Here comes Fuge to the inside of Milan. He wants to split the 2. We're 2 by 2 further back now. Big lick to the wall. Jax Milan out of 4. Starting to get spicy here as we're halfway home at Charlotte. Buchanan trying to use the chrome horn here. JP Jones doing the same to Milan. Big flick to the inside from JP. Are we going to see the battle die down? John Miles doesn't want it to happen. He's got momentum. He tries to go through Jax Milan. 3 wide across the stripe. Two by 2 pack racing here. Just outside of the top 3. Here comes Buchanan to the inside of Fuge. The drive back to the front. And just like that, a nuclear restart for Dawson Buchanan gets him right back into this thing. How's it hanging further back? Lane Snow's found Nick Warboy again. There's a little bit of pushing going on from the 27 as they try to get to Gardner. Up ahead. Hughes looking to the inside. First lead change in a while as Dawson Buchanan tries to take that spot from Hunter Hughes. Chris Fuge waiting in the wings. He wants to go with him. Hunter and Warboy have shown us that the outside line is actually the spot to be here. Can we see a bait, a force into a vice versa? Big blick to the outside. Chris Fuge in the wall. JP and John go around to split the middle. Nearly in the grass there is Gardner. Great avoidance from the rest of the field. Hughes continues to hold off Buchanan. 30 laps to go. Oh my goodness, everywhere you look, there's action. And in all of that chaos, Colton Gardner grabs a couple of positions. John Miles gets promoted up into third. Another look at the outside wall, Lane Snow. As now we're starting to see guys get a little bit less racy. What happened to Jax Milan? He was looking so strong and just got swallowed up on that restart. All the way back now in P10. Might be another spot now as Garrett Jarnigan tries to find a way around. Up front, maybe a little bit too big of a chop to the inside there from Buchanan. Was nearly on the apron there in the 4. And just behind, John Miles wants a little bit of this action too. Everybody's still very, very bunched up here. With 27 to go here. Chris Fuge is in. And again, I think it was a mentality of everybody just trying to keep the car in one piece and save something for the second half of this race. And this is the intensity we were expecting from everybody in the sprint to the finish. Buchanan gets that outside line he's been wanting for a while. Hughes has bent so much tonight. He hasn't broken yet. Break, Lambros, come on now. Hughes has defended so much on the outside, and now he's doing the same on the other. Sparks flying out of the 4. Big wiggle there from the 4 of Buchanan as he's trying to find a way to get through. John Miles waiting for that opportunity to pounce, maybe split him. Colton Gardner right there as well in the 40. Another bit of a look to the inside. This cannot get there. The Minister of Defense has it going on. For the back, JP Jones, Nick Warboy, Hunter Hughes. Lane Snow and Jax are there as well. Oh, big moment there. Lane Snow and Hunter Hughes. This might be a yellow. Big moment. Lane might be not sure if there's too much damage there on the 5, but both the Fuges now at the back of the pack. And now you can just throw a blanket over the top 4. $170-mile-an-hour game of cat and mouse. Who's going to pounce first? Buchanan to the inside, gets back in line. Gardner wants to make it side by side across the stripe, though. And you start to see the sense of urgency with these guys in the pack. They know the past 15 laps have gone by in a snap. They know that it's only going to speed up here as we get towards the home stretch of this race. Gardner looking to the inside, trying to do the first low line pass of the night. Buchanan tries it as well. All of that rubbering in on the low side, finally starting to pay off for these drivers. Merge on the low side, Chris Fuge. Miles still able to fend off Gardner. Can Hunter Hughes do the same with Buchanan? Another look to the inside. It'll be 20 to go at this time, as it's 2 by 2 for the lead. Constant pressure from a variety of drivers for Hunter Hughes, and he is not cracked at all. Miles has done a lot of driving to the front. This is the first time he's really had to do a prolonged defense from Colton Gardner, or anyone for that matter. All the way washed up to the high side. This will be a good opportunity for the 40 of Gardner to pounce on through. Still side by side. Nobody giving an inch. Gardner has to lift off again and give that position to him. Nick Warboy not too far back now. He wants a piece of this action. And if they keep battling the way they are, this will stack the entire field back together here with 19 laps to go. A little bit of contact between both there. And everybody at the absolute limit. Both drivers lifting. Hughes blocks. Buchanan starting to run out of things in the playbook for how he can get by, shall I say, ethically. And it'll be the patience game for the driver of the Ford, the Dr. Pepper machine. Just behind him, Miles and Gardner. Lap traffic of Connor Hughes just behind him. Another look to the inside from Gardner. And this time a big checkup on the outside from John Miles. And this might be the move. It is Colton Gardner. Just able to barely hang on. John Miles looking for a swing back, though. Meanwhile, Hunter Hughes wants to get that lap back. There might have been contact. We missed the move for the lead. Hunter Hughes finally cracks Dawson Buchanan back to the front. 15 laps to go. And in the battle for first and third, there's finally been a change at both sides. Incredible stuff. Now some big losses for Miles, as Fuge will split both of them. Buchanan defends now on the outside as Hunter Hughes jams it up the inside. Tries to close the door on him. Gets that position back. Nuclear stuff from Hunter Hughes in the 18. Now the chrome horn's coming out. This sidestepping of the wheel from Hunter Hughes telling me that there is absolutely some pushing going on there from the Ford Buchanan. Both of these guys in lockstep. Gardner has insurance. Fuge splitting the both of them, but the 19 wanting to get that lead lap back. What are we going to see here in the final 13 laps here? And for Dawson Buchanan, the position he's fought so hard for all night is lost again in the blink of an eye. Looked like it was the inside to get that move initially, and the 18 just ran a smidgen too far up as they continue to go at it. Before Buchanan almost up by a nose. Gets ahead into turn 3. But again, Hughes able to carry all of that speed on the outside. And more importantly, I think the big scrub is just coming out of 4. The right-left flick, where someone's got to give, and it's more often than not the inside car of the 4. But the chipping away is starting to pay off once again for Dawson Buchanan. He's a nose ahead now, still not fully clear of Hughes, who is continuing to battle. They might be like this for the next 10 laps. Crossover now as Hughes goes low. Nearly contact fender to fender. One of the best battles you will see in Wednesday Night Dash history. And this heavyweight bout is going to go all the way to the final round with 10 laps to go. Buchanan back out by a car length now. Are we going to see a swing back from Hunter Hughes? How quickly is it going to be? And all of a sudden, Dawson Buchanan shot out of a cannon here. Did Hughes chew away too much of his tires early on in that battle? Hughes up all the way into the wall. Everybody single file now. Jax Milan further back, trying the outside of Nick Warboy. Big lift there on the outside. Has to keep it out of the Armco. Tries the latest of Apexes and using the exit at 2 of a launch pad, and it works. Hits the nose ahead, and the outside becomes the inside. P5 for Milan. Great stuff. Meanwhile, John Miles trying to drive to another podium. But he's got a car in his way to make that happen. 5 laps to go. Anything else that Hunter Hughes has here? The patience game for Dawson finally starting to pay off. But can he close it? Lane Snow, who was looking very, very strong in the first half of this race with some quarter panel damage, is looking to bring it home. E7. Chris Fusion, DJ Fluke in as well. Did the Storms finally get to DJ? Not sure. Milan continuing to charge back to the front. He wants to get John Miles now. Running out of time here at Charlotte with 5 laps to go. Warboy in the wall again. Miles has spent a lot on the high side to try and defend. Milan's kind of used the same level of energy to really get to the front. He'll try the high side again. Try that late apex. But the 54 blocks the inside. Can't force that late apex move. So Milan just elects to use all of that momentum on the outside and make it stick for P4. And a late drive back to the front of the field here for Jax Milan. Dare we say that P3 is in contention? He's got some ways to do it, and he'd have to clear Fusion in the process. Feels like the first time tonight I've finally had an opportunity to breathe here in the box. And with 3 laps to go, it came in the nick of time. How about this man right here? Dawson Buchanan had a major moment at the start of this race and is about to potentially close it. I haven't said hello to Bill Mulfield tonight, and with 3 laps to go, I'll get one in at the buzzer. Ever iconic in the 911 Garza machine. P8 finish, good mid-pack driving. It'll be a night that could have been for JP Jones, who was looking for a top 5 finish. Will look to scrap it home in 10th. And it is going to be 4 good corners left for the man who played the long game in one of the longest races on tap. White flag for Dawson Buchanan. We knew he had front row pace. I don't think anybody after the damage at the start was expecting that comeback from the middle of the field, not just to get back to Hunter Hughes, but to take that spot and then for Hughes to just drop like a stone. Out of turn 4 for the final time. It's the fruit of the 4's labor into the wall, but it doesn't matter. Dawson Buchanan will take it at Charlotte. Hughes does lawn work across the line. Gardner will come home in P3. A fantastic recovery drive from Jax Milano. Horrendous restart, but gets the job done at the end. John Miles is 5th. Lane Snow will recover for a P6 finish. Nick Warboy in 7th. Oh my goodness. And the fireworks here on 4th of July week in Charlotte. Fitting that the number 4 guy gets to burn it down for Independence Day. Oh, excuse me, Jax Milan. Gotta do some celebration here. Looked like Milan wanted to get in on the action there. So should have some interviews coming your way here in just a moment. Stay with us. Unfortunately, folks, going to be no interviews tonight, but we should hopefully have some in just a couple weeks' time. But what a race that was. A battle to the very end with Dawson Buchanan, and Colton Gardner, who was there as well. But man, Dawson Buchanan completely untouchable at the end there. So that will do it for us here from Charlotte as we crown a champion in just 2 weeks' time at Michigan. Thank you so much for watching Wednesday Night Dash here on Stadium Scene TV. Remember to like, subscribe, and follow on all socials at Stadium Scene TV. For everybody here at FR Racing and Stadium Scene, I'm Jackson Lambros saying thanks so much for watching. Till next time.